Is this lighting good? Hold on. I can't tell if I like the lighting or not. Is that good? Does that look okay? I guess so. If it sucks, I'm sorry. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. First of all, if you're wondering why I'm all dressed up for this video, it's because my roommates and I, it's snowing today. So we went out and we did a photo shoot in the snow, and I just liked this look so much that I decided not to change out of it and just decided to wear it for this video. So that's just what we're doing. It doesn't fit with the topic of this video, but I just decided to be cute anyway. Hello, welcome. Today I'm doing something that I'm pretty stoked about. Today I'm doing my first ever voice acting related video. I don't know why I did air quotes. If you guys didn't know, I'm currently a student and I'm studying to be a voice actor. And so I thought it would be cool to do an Ask a Voice Acting Student video. So I asked over on Patreon and Instagram for some of your questions regarding my studies as a voice actor. And so I'm gonna be answering those today, and that's it. That's what we're gonna be doing. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with Patreon questions because those questions always get priority. How do you get over the awkwardness of talking to no one when practicing? Since I'm a YouTuber, I don't really have that problem. I'm used to talking to myself. Like, I'm talking to an inanimate object right now, alone in my room. So it's not really that awkward for me. That's not something that I really had to worry about getting over. Just something that I'm really used to right off the bat. Where do you take classes and what materials do you use to help yourself and deepen what you know and can? So I'm currently studying at On the Mic in Vancouver, which is a specific voiceover school. They teach all different types of voiceover, including animation, commercial, audio, books, and narration. I am currently studying commercial and animation. As for what materials, in the classes, they give you sides or scripts. We call script sides, and they look like, they look like this. So basically little scripts that you can read through and practice your voices and everything. They have all the different directions and the character descriptions, and that's the main thing that we do. We're given new sides every week, and we basically just practice them, and then we perform them in class, and then the teacher will give us feedback on how we did and things we can improve on. So those are the main materials that we use to deepen our knowledge and deepen our range and all that good stuff. What inspired you to get into voice acting? Voice acting has been something that I've wanted to do since I was 8 years old. I knew that there were people who did the voices of cartoons and I wanted to know more about them. So I looked up a whole bunch of different shows that I really liked. So like Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and basically started researching all the different voice actors who were in those shows. And as soon as I learned who they were and saw all the work that they did, all the different characters that they did, I immediately knew that that's what I wanted to do. So that's what inspired me. It's been my dream ever since I was 8 years old to be a voice actor, and I'm finally going for it and trying to make it happen. Now we're gonna move on to Instagram questions. So does it require anything like a special talent to learn VA? It really helps if you have an acting background. That's probably the biggest thing, especially for the training that I'm doing. They do have an acting class in there, but they're mostly looking for people who have a foundation in acting. There's not a lot of opportunity to really teach you kind of the ins and outs of acting. What they keep telling us is that like acting and being able to believably portray characters is the most important thing. That's way more important than being able to do funny voices. So a lot of people go into voice acting thinking that like since they can do funny voices or since they have like a good sounding voice, then they're kind of set to go. But the most important thing is actually to have a good acting background, which is something that I wish, like I do have an acting background from childhood. I started acting when I was a kid and did a whole bunch of different programs all throughout my school career, but then I had to stop during post-secondary, so I'm getting like back into it now. So my personal acting foundation could definitely be better. Like it's definitely there, but it could be better. So that's one thing that I wish that I had more of going into this program. Do you need to do vocal warm-up exercise with VA like singing? A few people asked about this. You do. We don't, in our classes, we don't do warm-ups in our classes, but when I'm practicing by myself, I do warm-ups. So things like tongue twisters, using all of your different resonators. So starting in your head voice and going like, oh, yeah, stuff like that. And then moving down to your chest voice, oh, yeah, and getting those all warmed up. I do scales. So like, stuff like that. Obviously much better than that example that I just did. That example was very bad, but like, just to give you an idea, I do scales. Those are kind of like the main ones that I do. And then basically just a bunch of tongue twisters to get you used to saying words, basically. Yeah, I'm definitely looking to broaden my warm-up exercises. Like I said, that's not something that they go over in our classes. That's something that we kind of figure out by ourselves. So I'm definitely looking to kind of broaden the different exercises that I do. So if you're also an actor and you have any recommendations for warm-up exercises, please by all means let me know in the comments. Another very common question was, does your voice ever get strained? And if so, how do you prevent it? So a lot of people ask about getting strained or getting a sore throat, stuff like that. The main thing that we've been taught is that if you're doing a voice and it hurts to do the voice, that means that you shouldn't be doing that voice, because you want to be focusing on doing voices that are going to be sustainable. Every voice you need to do, you have to be able to do it for a 4-hour session, because that's how long typical voiceover sessions go for. So if it's something that you're not able to do for 4 hours without hurting yourself, then that's just not a voice that you should be doing. Or you can do that voice, but you have to find a way to do it without actually hurting yourself. There's also the element that when you're first doing a voice, just because it's foreign and you're not used to it, it can kind of strain your voice a little bit, but then it gets better with practice. So if it's a voice like that where you can safely do it, without hurting yourself, you just kind of have to get over that initial discomfort just because you're not used to it, that's totally fine. But if it's a voice that is actually like hurting you and it's not just kind of that initial discomfort, it's actually something that's going to strain your voice, that means that you just shouldn't do it. So I guess to answer that question, yes, my voice does sometimes get strained. And when that happens, I try to take note of that and realize that, there's something that I should be doing differently with a certain voice, or there are some voices, like ones with a lot of texture and ones with a lot of rasp, that are just not sustainable for me. So I have to stay away from doing those. It's hard though when you want to do like a little boy voice and you have to add rasp to it. I'm trying to find a way to be able to do kind of raspiness without hurting myself. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out. What is a piece of advice that has meant a lot to you? That's a very good question. I think the advice that the most important part of voice acting is the acting part, rather than being able to do a bunch of cool voices, because I've never been very good at like doing impressions. You see a lot of people who like do voice acting on the internet and they do like impression videos and they're able to do like a huge range of voices and they can voice match like existing characters really well. And like, I just have never really found myself able to do that. So it was really reassuring to hear that like your voice range is definitely good to have a voice range, but it's not the main component that you should be focusing on. The main thing you should be focusing on is being able to really bring characters to life and have good acting. And I feel like that's much easier for me to improve on and kind of build on than it is being able to, do really good impressions or do like a really wide range of voices. I have been told that I do have a good vocal range, so that's very reassuring. So I definitely think that I will get there, but I'm glad that that's not kind of the main thing that I have to focus on. What kind of lessons do you get? Another good question. So like I said, at my school on the mic, they have a broad range of classes. So the main kind of voice acting disciplines they focus on are animation, commercial, narration, and audiobooks. And I currently am studying commercial and animation. So they have various different levels of animation. So they have like animation level 1, 2, and 3, and then commercial level 1, 2, and 3. So I'm currently making my way through those right now. They also have classes for accents. So I'm currently taking a class for American accents. So basically to learn basic American accents, because obviously I have a Canadian accent and most shows are looking to be marketed in the US. So they want you to have an American accent. So they teach you a basic American accent and then also stuff like a New York accent or a Southern accent. So that's just kind of stuff that I'm taking to broaden my range. And they have a specific acting class, so acting for voiceover. They have improv for voiceover. And then they have various lectures that they do. So they have ones on like home studio setup. They have a lecture on the business of voiceover that talks about what kind of pricing you should be charging, working with agents, stuff like that. So it's a very broad range of stuff that they teach you. Have you noticed yourself developing a style or character type you like? Yeah, definitely. I think my kind of default is very much the quirky and energetic female protagonist. Kind of sweet, but also like quirky and kind of dorky characters. We got a lot of scripts with those kinds of characters, so those are usually ones that I read for. So that's kind of my default, I feel like. That's definitely the one that I've been noticing myself leaning towards, because I'm very dorky and awkward, but also energetic. And then finally, this was a very good question. If you could voice one cartoon character that already exists, who would it be? There's a lot of them to choose from. My main dream is to get to voice a ghost. I love ghosts. So a character like Danielle from Danny Phantom or Theodora from Legend Quest, like totally a character I'd want to voice. But then I feel like my ride or die, one of my ride or die characters just in general is definitely Charlie, because she's just, I relate to her so much and just, she's a major comfort character for me. So I feel like I'd have to choose Charlie probably, because that would just be like, that would be a dream role. And I feel like she fits into my range and fits into my personality just so well. So I'd probably have to go with Charlie, but any opportunity to get to voice a ghost would just be like my dream, my absolute dream. And there we have it. So I hope that I did an okay job answering those questions. I feel like I am always very awkward when I do Q&A videos. But hopefully I did an okay job. Yeah. I am excited to get to kind of share this aspect of my life journey with you guys. I'm hoping to be able to do more voice acting related videos as time goes on. So if you guys have any suggestions for voice acting related videos that you would like to see, please by all means let me know. And thank you so much to everyone who submitted questions. Yeah, I'm excited to grow and develop and improve, and I'm excited to at some point do another Q&A later on when I have more experience under my belt. I think it'll be cool to see that evolution. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you are new here and you'd like to see more voice acting, cosplay, Lolita fashion related videos, that's the main kind of stuff that I do, please by all means feel free to subscribe. I put out new videos every Sunday and it would be awesome to have you here. Thank you guys as always for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!